Morning. Happy Thursday. Happy race day. Today is the day of the duels. I always want to say the twin 125s because I'm a 90s girl. 80s and 90s girl, and that's what they called them for years. And then, of course, they change it with nothing ever stays the same. Okay, I'm just going to put it out here. We're going to talk about Tim because y'all knew that if I found out what he talked about yesterday, that it was going to trigger me. Now, I wouldn't have found out if I hadn't watched Dinger or Ray. So, but mostly Dinger because he's the first one I saw talk about it. Of course, Tim brings up his NASCAR history. He has such a rich, wonderful NASCAR history. All he remembers is partying in the infield. Well, and I'm not going to say there's nothing wrong with partying in the infield if that's what some people want to do. But there's not much partying in the infield going on much anymore because you got to be special to get in the infield anymore. And I'm not sure they even let tents in the infield anymore. They may at Talladega in some places, but you know, like here, there's no tents going down there. And I doubt there's tents going in at Daytona anymore. There's nothing going in but RVs. So, the main thing I wanted to mention about Tim, and I'm going to mention about Tater too. I'm trying not to make this video long, y'all, because I could really get into it. But he made the statement that somebody unalived Dale Earnhardt. And that is not true in the least bit. So I hope if any of you out there, I'm sorry, y'all, I'm having a hard time seeing for that sun. Okay, Bethany, I heard you, but my camera says there's nothing back there. Why are you beeping? I'm not going to hit that car, I promise. Bethany's what I call the camera. Or the car, whatever. Anyway. Okay, Bethany, okay. I think it's because you can't see, Bethany, because the sun's in your way. But I'm not going to hit anybody. I see the yellow line. All right, now, far enough. Okay, maybe I'll cut that out. If I don't, I apologize. Anyway, he said that someone unalived Dale Earnhardt. That is not true. It was an accident. And if you go back, and I'll link a couple of videos below where you can go back and watch the accident. Now, there's some parts they cut out because of the way it is, but it was a racing accident. When they come out on that last lap, everybody is on the edge. Things happen. Nobody unalived anybody. So that just, I cannot stand it when I hear somebody say that. I don't care who it is. And I'm going to say something that I've never said before on this channel. I don't think I've ever said it. But y'all know where those three dots are? Y'all know where they are. Anyway, you know also where that report button is? If you feel the need to hit it for just that one comment he made. Because it's misinformation. That's all I'm going to say. Allegedly, misinformation. But don't do it because I said so. Do it because you want to. All right, now. As again, he talked about going to the infield. Okay, first of all, I'm not saying you're not a race fan if you go to the infield every race. That's not what I'm saying. But my guess is that he was so allegedly intoxicated at those events, he couldn't tell you a bit more who won in the Man in the Moon. Now, I can't tell you every race that I've been to, because I'd say I have been over to, it's probably between 400 and 500 NASCAR races that I've been to. No exaggeration. That's for 55 years that I've been following NASCAR. So, to say that he followed the circuit or went from track to track, I highly doubt it. You know, that would have took a lot of money for Tim, and we know Tim don't spend money. So if he went from track to track, somebody was paying his way. Because I can tell you right now, that's why I don't have near the money that I should have in savings, is because I went from track to track. So I can tell you when it comes to that. Then, what else was it he was talking about? Oh, he talked about California. He said he went to that first race. He said Riverside. Okay, first of all, Riverside was a road course in the 70s and 80s. It was done away with. The racetrack he went to was at Fontana. Yes, it was built by the Penske family, or Roger Penske. And it is no longer. They don't even race there anymore. So he doesn't even know that much. Of course, I know he said he didn't follow the sport no more. And I know there's a lot of people that do not say they keep up with it now, because, as I'll say, everything changed after Dale Earnhardt passed. Everything changed in NASCAR. So you have this before and after time. But he said that he didn't keep up with it. He couldn't tell you any of the drivers right now. Well, he was down there in Georgia. No, he evidently can't, or he don't want to. When he was at the Hall of Fame, nothing was said about the Elliots. You don't go to the Georgia Hall of Fame without knowing about the Elliots, or at least learning about them, or mentioning them. Just my opinion. Then, what was it he said that didn't make any sense? Oh, he said that all the drivers live on Lake Norman in Atlanta. Lake Norman is a suburb of Charlotte. It is not Atlanta. Lake Lanier is down there off of Atlanta. So get your story straight here, Tim. I know we all say things out of context sometimes, and we say the wrong thing, but correct yourself. You could have corrected yourself with a voiceover, which is usually what I try to do, or I correct myself on the screen. And sometimes I'll correct myself in the comments. But correct yourself. So I want to hear you correct yourself, Tim. That's right, I'm pointing. About Lake Norman is a suburb of Charlotte. And who knows? Tammy's daughter and son-in-law might end up living there. All right. Tater. So Tater goes on this. He puts up on his Patreon. And yes, I paid for his Patreon again. I don't know why I do it, but I did. Well, see, I had no idea he was having to go to court. So I learned that yesterday from Squirrel Bait. Anyway, he put up there that he made it insinuate like he was going to Daytona. And why is he just now mentioning he was going to Daytona? See, I just think he made up this as an excuse. Was that he's not going to Daytona now because of the mud, because they're calling for rain. Well, as a true NASCAR fan who has been to many, many races, we know sometimes it doesn't rain. Even when there's a forecast for rain, it doesn't rain. Or it just rains a little bit. But they still are able to get the race in. Daytona has lights. They can run up into the night. They could also decide, now they've got radar. They used to didn't have radar. They can also look at the radar and decide, we're going to start early. We're not going to do the big pageantry before, and we're going to start early. Just in case. Now, it may be raining Sunday morning when they get up, and they won't get a lap in Sunday. I don't know. But a real race fan knows that you can't always go by the forecast, especially in Florida. Then, let me open this door. I forgot now what I was going to say when I said I need to open the door. I don't know. Tater and him both just get on my nerves. And, Tater said something about NASCAR didn't care about their fans. I think NASCAR does a great job when they have to call a race because of weather or whatever, I thought they did a great job this past. Now, I'm going to admit, I would have run the race on Tuesday night, the one at Bowman Gray, when it had snowed. But I also understand why they didn't. They didn't because it was still so cold. And they have to answer. I mean, NASCAR has to answer to their TV partners now. TV is putting more money than anything else into the pockets of NASCAR and the drivers, the teams. They have to go by what the TV says. And you as a fan have to realize that. And if you can't, then you either, when you buy a ticket, you buy that insurance. There's insurance right there you can buy in case something happens that you have to leave. Now, of course, there's going to have to be some things to fall into place there, but weather is one of them. Weather does play into parts. Now, it has to be that the race was called because of weather. So, and it could be you got sick, you lost a job, those other things. But they do have insurance now protecting you from the weather. They used to not do that. It used to be you're on your own. And I can tell you right now, I don't go to a race now or plan to go that I don't plan to take off on a Monday because I know how much it can rain. I know weather is always you just don't know. It's an outside sport. If it rains, there's going to be mud. You learn to live with it. Some of my best times at races was when it was muddy. I mean, it's just an excuse. I know. I don't think he was ever going to begin with. And just my opinion. I just think they both need to just shut up about NASCAR. And I'm not saying about NASCAR, I'm just talking about altogether. They don't know nothing about it today. And I know that Tater's been to some races. I'm not saying he hasn't. But he's going to complain about anything anyway. So just shut up. Just shut up, both of you. Go on, talk about something else. Talk about something you know about. And now, if you're still here, my second channel is going to be about NASCAR and wrestling. It's going to be me talking about NASCAR and wrestling. And that's not why I done this video. I done the video because I was triggered. But anyway, I will put my new channel down below. If you want to watch, you can. Now, I have some plans for it. I want to do a video every week. It's not going to be every day. 1 week it may be racing, 1 week it may be wrestling. I may talk about both of them in separate videos. It just depends on my mood and what's going on. I can't go live on there because I want to do some reactions. So any reactions I do, I will have to record. But I'm not going to say that I won't go live here. And I know I've said that before. I don't know why I get such anxiety when it comes to going live, but I do. I have true anxiety when it comes to going live. And it's just the way it is. Because I can't stand silence. And I don't want to watch Tim videos during my lives. I just want to talk. Just want to talk in general. I don't want to plan it out. I want it to just flow naturally. So that's why I think that I have a little bit of fear about going live. But anyway, it's neither here nor there. If you see me going live, come over and watch me. And if I don't, then I don't. That's all I can say about that. But I'm going to go now. Going to talk to y'all later. Thank you so much for watching and listening to me vent. And go Chase!